Is technology at your work distracting you from actual work? Do you spend too much time troubleshooting PC or internet issues? IT Enabled can help. Our team of IT specialists can help you tackle your technology troubles and get you focused on growing your business in no time. Call to schedule your technology consultation. 936-225-3329. IT Enabled. We're here to help.
We're excited to have friends from Pinecrest. We've got Heath Foust and Victoria Hutto. Thanks for coming.
Yes,
we're
thank
glad
you.
to be here.
So why don't you each introduce yourselves, tell a little bit about your history, how you got to Pinecrest, and then we'll go in and talk about.
Yeah, I'm Victoria Hutto. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director. I started with Pinecrest 3 years ago as outreach coordinator, where I went more into the community to educate our community about Pinecrest and what we do. And I've been in the marketing director position for 2 years now. Okay. So it's been really great. Pinecrest is a phenomenal organization. They like to grow from within. So it's really awesome to be able to be in this leadership role with Heath.
Yep. And talking about growing from within, I'm Heath Foust, the Executive Director. I started with Pinecrest Retirement August 2nd of 1999 and started as a maintenance assistant, kept working my way up to physical plant director, then associate ED in 2018, and then last year recently got promoted to executive director. So
wow.
I think that's great.
Yes,
I love that.
it's
wonderful.
been a wonderful career so far.
Well, and it's always nice when the director knows all the facets and has worked in those positions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Heath is
That's
just
fantastic.
one of the many people that we have at Pinecrest that have a very long tenure.
That's great.
So
there's no slacking in the maintenance department. Is that what
No,
you're saying?
there's no slacking whatsoever.
You know exactly how long it takes to do
Yep.
everything in there, I bet.
That's true.
he was a huge asset when we went through the really bad snowstorm.
That's right.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Yep.
That's right. Well, for those that are not familiar with Pinecrest, why don't you tell them a little bit about the facility?
Okay. Basically, we are a CCRC, which is a continuum care retirement community. We have everything from independent living to assisted living to our healthcare, skilled nursing, and rehabilitation, along with our memory support buildings. So pretty much we're take care of everything. You only have to move in once, and we take care of you all the way through the continuum.
Yeah, the idea behind that is that when you begin to age and even start to see a decliner before you do, because we encourage seniors in our community, come to Pinecrest while you can enjoy the things that we have to
That's right.
offer. The activities, the amenities, the worry-free, maintenance-free, no lawn care, So we encourage residents to come before they have a decline in their health.
What's about the average age of people that move in?
We really like to see people move in their 70s,
Okay.
honestly. But I think typically it's probably late 70s before they decide this is what I really want to do, because they don't,
Or I should do. Yeah.
They don't, I don't think that seniors in our community, they think they're giving up some sort of freedom by coming into a facility, but it's not a facility.
Yeah, if you've never toured the homes
Yes.
and the independent living, man, you're missing out. They're
Yes.
beautiful.
We really are. It really is a great place to be. It's a great place to live, a great place to work. Every one of our residents, we know them and love them. They're my family. We
They have a good time too.
and they have a good time. They really do. Yeah. And so the idea is that you come in when you're still very healthy to enjoy it. And as your health declines or as you need additional assistance, we have all of those things available to you. We have the assisted living. We have the memory care. We have the skilled nursing. Also a rehab. And you don't have to be a resident of Pinecrest to come into our rehab if you just need a short rehab stay.
Right.
And then also we have a home health too. So we come out into the community as well. Our home health will come out and visit you in your community if you need help. Concierge services, sitter services, personal assistance services.
That's great to know.
So yeah.
And if you're in independent living and say you fall and you break something, you can actually transition and then come right back into your house.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or if you just need home health to come in and sit with you or help you take a shower or cook breakfast, we have that available as well.
That's great.
To talk about the amenities again a second. So my grandpa had to have some rehab done, and he was there at the facility, and we were getting there, helping him get set up because he had to stay for a little while. And we toured the facility and walked around, and I said, "Is there a minimum age that you can come?" Because you talk about no lawn care, everything's taken care of. You got a little bank in there, like everything's like. I was like, okay, I think I want to sign up to come here too.
We have a lot of adult children that are like, wait a minute, how old?
Yeah, can I come now?
Can I come now?
Sign me up
And
right
the
now.
food is fantastic.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And all the parties we have, I mean, it's
I love
just
the parties.
amazing. It's just like living in a college dorm,
Yeah.
but for seniors,
While we're talking about it, tell us about some of the amenities, about some of the things you offer.
Well, so we have a Berkshire Brothers Market
Yes.
at Pinecrest. We have a library.
Mm-hmm.
We have the most beautiful chapel. Our chaplain is Brother John Smith. He's wonderful. We also have a beauty salon, a fitness center. Along with our fitness center, we have some classes that Silver Sneakers from Live Well comes out and does some fitness classes. Also Tai Chi.
yoga.
Great for balance.
Great for balance. And we have some really great success stories from some of our independent living residents who used rollators and now they're just using a cane from doing Tai Chi regularly. And then yoga. We have, I like to call them field trips, but outings. And, I think COVID put a little bit of a damper on those, but we've still been able to do them in a smaller capacity. Carla Kendrick is our life enrichment director, and she has a great team. They put together so much fun stuff. I mean, we have a variation of baseball we call indoor baseball, which doesn't involve a ball at all, but our residents love it, and we'll do like staff against the residents,
Right.
and they love to do stuff like that. We put on variety shows. 2 Christmases ago, our residents actually put on a huge play for Christmas. We have
our Halloween carnival coming
our
up.
Halloween Fall Fest coming up next
Yep.
Thursday.
That's great.
You have Festival of Trees.
We have
Yeah.
Festival of Trees, and that's going to change a little bit this year, so we're really excited about that.
Nice.
And oh gosh, what all else? We play a lot of bingo.
You have a great little nook for puzzles too.
We do. Our puzzle
Yeah.
table is actually really popular
Yeah.
with a lot of our residents.
I can imagine.
They complete one and have it on display as they're completing another
That's so
one.
great.
A lot of people like to be a part of that.
And we got 2 wonderful gentlemen that live in the woods that actually had done a lot of our woodworking for our residents and built planter boxes this year and built some Christmas manger scenes that we could put outside last year. And
Oh yeah,
So-
because it's not just independent living that's super active. All of our areas are super active.
right.
Assisted living, they do gardening. We've implemented what's called the Eat an Alternative, which is more about, and I'll let Heath talk a little bit more about that. But we have chickens in our memory support.
Nice.
Yeah, we have chicken coops, and that it brings life.
Yeah.
It brings more life. And we also have Ollie, he's our little dog. So we do have our resident Pinecrest puppy that he's allowed to go in all the units.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so it's just about bringing more life, like live plants and animals and things into your community.
I have to imagine that's probably the happiest dog like on earth. It just
Oh.
gets to go from
yeah.
person to person
He
and
is.
just
And
constantly
get
love,
treats. And
spoiled
treats
rotten.
and
Spoiled rotten.
the most loved on animal
Yes.
probably of all time. Well, that's great.
Yeah,
so
he
you
really
talked
is.
about how COVID had kind of affected some of your things. Tell us a little bit about how the pandemic affected. I know we were very, very concerned for people who were in facilities like yours during that time. So how did that affect you?
Well, I really think in the very beginning, you watched the news and you seen that the nursing homes really got a bad rap with people testing positive. We've heard local stories of entire nursing homes testing positive along with their staff. But I tell you, MRC had done a really good job of following the federal guidelines and coming up with their own policies and procedures, such as mask and social distancing. And then we limited our activities down to 10. And then there's certain room sizes that we might have limited to only 2 people in this room. We changed up some of our dining, the way we do our dining, and limited some of the tables for the dining room. But overall, out of the last 2 years throughout this pandemic, we've really had a low positivity rate out of our residents and staff for COVID. I could probably count maybe 20 residents altogether that
yeah.
might have tested positive.
Wow.
Yeah.
And probably about 30, 40 employees. So that's not a bad number out of over 400 people that's actually at the community.
Right.
So that's
It's not a
really
bad
good
number at all
numbers.
when you put that into perspective.
Right.
Yeah, and also on top of that, we have we are a 5-star rated Medicare rated community, which we are the only 5-star rated community in the East Texas area. And to be able to maintain that throughout COVID and all the stricter guidelines, that is a huge homage to our clinical teams. We have maintained 0 deficiencies in infection control, which again, our clinicians are the elite. I mean, they have been so amazing, and it's been challenging, and they have risen to the occasion, because staffing has been tough.
Yeah.
And they have, I think that also too, a high point of that is that because of all of that, our staff, we've grown closer. We've had to think outside the box. We've had to fill in where needed. And
had to wear lots of hats.
we have.
Yeah.
And so I think that, our clinicians deserve so much. They're definitely our Pinecrest heroes for sure. But we have, despite all the challenge and the increased regulations, more importantly, the residents and their families have
Been satisfied.
been so satisfied. And
That's
our
great.
residents, we hear on a daily basis how safe they feel at Pinecrest, and that makes it worthwhile for us. So
Well, it's such a joyous place. For the last 4 years maybe I've been on the board at Pinecrest, and I love walking in there. We meet once a quarter, but it's so much fun to walk in because everybody's hey Tara, and they all are sitting there and they're all talking and they're all giggling like a bunch of little school kids. And you think, what are y'all up to? It's just a joyous place to be at.
we have a bunch of really great people at Pinecrest. I think some of the things people don't realize is that a lot of our residents contribute to all of these things. We have residents who play the piano for chapel. We have one resident who's the only person that lives at Pinecrest that knows how to play the organ. We have
Residents that teach Sunday school.
residents that
That's
teach
great.
Bible studies. When
Yeah.
you move into Pinecrest, that's one of the things Carla does is, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies? What are your, and whatever, because we want them to be able to feel like they're contributing
That's right.
still. Because you don't want to just receive. You'd like to give too. And we have a newer resident who teaches this International Women's Bible Study.
Oh, wow.
And so we implemented that at Pinecrest. And it has been a hit. She was so excited. She came to me after, I think, the 3rd class and said, there was 15 people in there today. So
That's
just
awesome.
things like that. We have a sewing group, and they sew, and I think they gossip a lot too, but they, like schoolgirls, but they make beautiful things, and they have crocheted, like shawls for residents who may be in skilled nursing who are at the end of their life, or like prayer blankets, or
Dress a girl.
Yeah. So something else that we do is it's an organization called Dress a Girl Around the World. And our VP of marketing, Jill Janes, her mother is very involved in this organization, and they have brought it into our MRC communities. And what it is they have this simple pattern of this dress, and they make it in all these different sizes. And our residents in our communities have their sewing groups, and they make these beautiful dresses and send them to poverty-stricken countries for girls who may not have a dress.
That's great.
That's awesome.
And we have sent them all over the world. It is amazing.
That's really cool.
I'm so interested in the activities that happen. We were there. I think you did it may have been a ribbon cutting for a new edition that you had done a few years ago, or some type of chamber
Probably the
event.
assisted living.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah,
We were there
so
for
it
some
was.
type of chamber event, and we were walking through, and I saw some of your residents. They were playing Wii Bowling, the video game Wii Bowling, and it made me think, what are they going to look like in 50 years when some of these younger generations, is bingo going to be replaced with video games? what's that going to look like in the future, I wonder?
I don't know. I just can't imagine.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know that just good old-fashioned bingo is ever going to be replaced.
Yeah,
because they
agreed.
love it
Everybody
so
loves
much.
bingo.
Everybody
Yeah.
loves bingo.
There are games that I didn't even know existed. On Friday nights, they have Friday night game night, so they play Mexican Train, which is a domino
Sure.
game.
Mhm.
And then they play a dice game called Farkle.
Yep.
And then Bridge is very...
You can go fit right in, Blake.
I love all these
Come
games.
on.
I'm telling you, I asked
So-
if there was a minimum age. Yesterday, I spent 4 hours doing yard work. I was like, that's it. I'm moving in. Sign me up right
So
now.
Farkle is one that I had never heard of, and I played it with them one day,
It's
and
fun.
now I own it at home.
Yeah,
and
of
my
course.
kids love it.
Yeah, that's great.
But there's just so many.
Yeah.
One of our residents in independent living, has said to me before, and I use it regularly with people that are thinking about it, just because it's so very true. You can't do everything.
Right.
You have to pick and choose, because there's just not enough time to do all the things that are offered.
It's great.
And then another one of our independent living residents said to me one time, my favorite thing about Pinecrest is I know I will never be lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very astounding.
That's important.
She says, I know that I will always have somebody to speak to, somebody to say hi to me. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, you're celebrating 30 years this year. That's
I know, awesome.
amazing. Tell us what's the future of Pinecrest.
Woo. Well, future of Pinecrest, basically, we're looking in with our new president about building some greenhouses for our memory support. This is a way to where we bring more out into the resident, but also to the community, make it feel more home-like atmosphere instead of the traditional nursing home feel when you walk into a memory care or skilled nursing. So that's where we're headed towards, but we're also headed towards some technology type
very exciting.
project that I'm working on, to where our residents can start looking at activities on an iPad. They can also have their own personal activities on the iPad between me and another resident. We could play a video game, or we could talk, face chat with each other. We're looking at trying to have it where they can order food off this iPad.
Nice.
And so we're
So
trying
they
to
would have
move
their
in.
own.
Yeah. We're trying to move into the way of technology to make things a little more efficient.
Love that.
And helpful for our residents, but not only that, but also for our staff too.
That's great.
You know, something else too that was completed this year is our bistro was completely renovated and expanded. That was really exciting. So hopefully we'll be able to get back on the books with the Cheers with the Chamber.
Yeah.
The most recent spike in COVID numbers kind of.
That's okay. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, so we're gonna get
Around.
back and we're gonna have our grand reopening of our bistro back. But you know, we've implemented fresher foods, you know, as part of that too.
Yes.
Instead of less processed things, more fresh foods.
That's
and
right.
so our bistro, you can get soups and sandwich and fresh salads, and it's really great. It smells so good walking through there. So that's something else that we've done as well. And, you know, I think with all of the things that we're doing and moving forward, it kind of pays homage to the people that helped us get here. And I know Heath wanted to kind of touch base on a little bit of the history.
Yeah. Why don't you talk to us about the history of it?
Well, you know, 30 years ago, basically a couple Lufkin city members, mostly from the First Presbyterian Church, had talked about building a community to serve the elderly in Lufkin, basically. And so evidently Mr. Temple was aware of this and reached out to Mr. Philip Friesen. And so he done some research of some organizations that had some experience in developing and managing retirement communities. And lo and behold, they found Methodist Retirement Communities out of Houston, Texas. So Mr. Temple, whenever they got the plans developed and everything, him and his sister Ann Allen decided to donate the property which we're currently on today. And so we've opened our doors in December of '92, and we've been serving that mission ever since, of serving seniors. And we also, another good thing Mr. Temple had started was the benevolent care program. So if you exceed your funds and run out of money at no fault of your own, you're still able to stay at Pinecrest through donations into this fund. But recently we had changed this over to the Covenant Fund. We changed the name. Serves the same purpose, but basically we try to help the needs in the community and keep people at Pinecrest that might have lived longer than what expected.
Yeah. So that really gives family members peace of mind to know that, oh my goodness, if my mother outlives her finances,
That's right.
she still has somewhere to live.
Yeah,
This
you
is
know,
still her home.
I mean, that's one thing that, and we don't look at it that often.
Yeah.
But it is, as a board member, it's very comforting to know that we have the ability to be able to help people, you know, stay in the lifestyle that they have become accustomed to, and that they won't be alone, that they don't have to move to a different place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, we do a lot of fundraising throughout the year for that fund
Right.
to fund that. So our community helps fund that. We're really involved in our community as well. We just did the All Summers Walk, and we always have a team for that. That's always a lot of fun. We like to, go hang out and speak and educate our different civic organizations and Rotary clubs and Kiwanis Club. And I had the privilege of visiting with them here a few months back. And I'm still amazed every time I get to go do that there's still people that are like, oh,
I wondered what that was.
I wondered what that was.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I can't afford to live there. That's where the rich people live. But we have so many options that you'd be surprised, we have tons of retired teachers that live at Pinecrest, or, so it's not it's really nice, but it's not that's where all the rich people live,
Yeah.
So I think that that's where people go to, and they know they're going to be taken care of, because it says something to know that you're going to be taken care of for the rest of your life by people that you already know and love, and people that already know and love you. So
That's right.
yeah, so that makes a difference.
Well, we're very blessed to have Pinecrest in our community.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are. Well, thank y'all so much for your time and just kind of shining light on this great organization and letting us know everything that's happening out there. And I know where I'm going to be playing bingo, I guess, from now on. All the other games that I'm interested in.
Listen,
But
you come out and play bingo or Farkle or
Yeah.
anytime you want. I'm sure that Carla would love to have you.
that's
That's
great.
right.
Well, awesome. Well, thank y'all so much for
Yeah.
your time. We
Absolutely.
genuinely
Thanks for
appreciate it.
having
And
us.
Thank y'all.
And thank you
you.
so much for listening to the podcast again this week. We truly appreciate all the support the community has given and listening to this podcast and downloading it every single week. If you want to watch the video version of this podcast, you can catch that on the Chamber YouTube page and on the Chamber Facebook page. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.